Okay, so it's just 4:15 in the morning, but starting out because well, I've got a whole ordeal going. And it's I'm not gonna I feel bad, but I'm not gonna do another foster, at least one that's not so far away. Like this is um like such a ordeal. And now I'm just like, for how fast he's deteriorated, so I'm gonna give you the update on what's going on. But I've got to be in Seattle early this morning for his appointment. And one of the things, like I'd already been seeing this on there and hearing that a lot of vets aren't seeing the dog. So I think like if I called some of these vets that I maybe could get in sooner, it's like having a dog that's on state insurance or something. And I called one out here that sees other rescues, and then they said, no, sorry, we already do 3 rescues, and we can't even give a discount. It's like, oh, jeez. And then other ones that were like, no, you need to go to emergency. So I'll just start back with, I'll start back with last Saturday when I picked him up. And so, you know, they got this load of these dogs, and they sent this on the forum. And I had seen it pop up when I went in looking for, to contact my stepsister about this dress. And so it popped up, and then I was like, oh, I should, you know, I could take another dog. I shouldn't just, you know, turn a blind eye or whatever. And so I was like, you know, if I take a little one. And so I messaged, and I had said, I asked a question or something. And so then the one lady where I'd gone and got Max, she was messaging me, and she had sent a picture of this one and said you could take him. And I said, oh, okay. And he was young. And I said, oh, okay, is he fixed? And she said, oh, no. So you have to wait till after the surgery. But I have this other one that's super, super sweet, so you can come and get him. And sent me the picture of him, and he was old. And that's where I was like, oh, man, fostering a senior dog, what is the chances that someone's going to adopt them? It's like, damn. So, hold on. I still have this tea. Oh, yes, still my first cup. I've been up all night. All fucking night. Well, I got to sleep, I think, from 7 to 11, but I got up a few times in there. But I haven't been back. I maybe went to sleep for another half hour or hour, but it seemed like I've been awake. But most of the time I've been up. So, yeah, I've been very awake. And the dogs are all just going in. I have the stomach flu thing again. Like, what in the fuck? Where? And it is in this fucking rain. So, I'm so frustrated, and I feel so scattered, and I feel like the ground, like everything, like I can feel cars driving, like it's so crazy. This is just so weird, man. So weird, and it's weird to experience by yourself. So then, you know, she brought him out, and she's like, he just gets along with all the other dogs. So I'm like, and he didn't, you know, attack Stella or Max or anything. He just stood there. And so I was like, okay, you know, I just wanted to be reasonable. And, you know, you know, like I said, question myself of like, well, what am I doing? I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to help these animals. So, you know, I'll take what comes to me. Like I'd be all choosy and picky. And so he came to me. And so I took him home. Right as we were leaving, he was having such a fit. I stopped and I messaged her, and I said, did he come with somebody? Was there somebody he's been with? Because he's freaking out. And she goes, well, maybe he's freaking out because he's in the back of your car. I'm like, is he, since I have a station wagon and I put Stella in the middle thing now, I got this thing that she has this back seat thing now. And at first I thought it wouldn't be enough room, but this one is a hard floor. So it's And I feel like it's better for her because she was always leaning back on that door, and it would freak me out that she was going to push that door open because my one cousin who had fallen, oh, I didn't even tell about all the fucking bike craziness the other day. It was totally PTSD too from my cousin getting run over. It was like so crazy. I'm like, is something wrong with cyclists? Is there something missing in their minds? Like, that was so mental. I'll tell it when I get to this other part. But there's a bunch of people having bad reactions to castor oil on the eyes, and it's causing them eye problems. So the problems that some of us are trying to heal, they're getting. And I don't know if it's the castor oil they're using, but the ophthalmologist person told her that it was a bunch of people. So try not to put it in your eyes. Like, I know a lot of people are putting it on their lashes and stuff like that. So be careful, because some people have a bad reaction. I'm going to be more careful now putting it on my eyes, because she said it causes like this film, which I see the film a lot of times, but then that it is creating a dry eye. And so I don't even know. This is one woman was trying to pass on the information because she had a bad reaction. So I'm going to go back to his thing, because the cyclist was kind of on the weird thing. So anyways, she said, no, he was alone. He was a loner. And I was just like, okay, weird. Like, he hasn't been here that long to be all attached. And like, since I have a station wagon, I have Max in the front and then Stella in the middle. And so I fixed the backup for him. And so it was, way better than crate. Max came, he was in the back of someone's car in a crate. It's like they travel around and they like, wow, this is weird. And so maybe that's why he was crying, because he's used to a crate. And it was way too open and he was scared. I don't know. It was because he couldn't see me. I don't know. But he kept standing up and looking at me. I was talking to him, and Stella's face was right next to him. She was like right next to him. But anyways, as soon as we got here, he started with the drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking, and then he started just peeing. Just turned around and just started peeing. And I was like, what? She said this dog was potty trained. What in the hell? And why wouldn't she say that he's got this drinking issue? It seems like he needs to. So I started asking, has he been checked out? Has he gone to a vet or something? I don't know. This is one of the big problems, is the lulls in communication. There's these huge gaps where you can't, it's like, what in the holy hell? Oh my gosh. And so, whatever with that, and then I was like, okay, I'm just going to watch him and and I'm going to go trying to do natural stuff anyways. So I was like, he's probably had a bad diet. He probably hasn't been taken care of. If he came from a hoarder house, and then I don't know his history. That's the thing. You have no idea what their history is, nothing. And so so then he started with the drinking and peeing. And then I was like, he kept peeing in the house, and I was like trying to be right on top of him. And so I was like getting into that groove. And then I remembered I had those little belly band things, so I started doing those for when he was in the house. And then he was doing so good with going and peeing outside, going to the door when he needed to go, that I started leaving the belly bands off during the daytime and then just had him on at night. But it was all day and all night, every 2 hours at least. He gets up and goes, drinks like a gallon of water, and then he goes out and pees the hugest amount. It's weird. And the pee is always super clear and it has no smell. And so, which to me, it's like, he's drinking too much water, like I don't know, or just, I've never seen a dog drink so much water and pee so much. And I know that that's an early sign in diabetes. And so, for humans, like if you start having excessive thirst and excessive urination, that's a sign. And so just knowing about all the metabolic stuff that's going on in the place, and it's like, okay, so he's got something going on, but I'm gonna still go at it natural, try and get it in. And then I started noticing it's not like he just gets along with all the dogs. He's scared shitless. He just does no, no protection instinct. He doesn't protect himself. He just goes possum. He just becomes very still and scared. And so that's hard. Uh, but the dogs are real sweet to him. And, well, Max tries to play with them sometimes. And so he jumps around them and stuff like that. Then, so then it was a couple days where he just was staying on his bed and stuff. Then he decided he wanted to start going out walking with us. And so I put him on a leash. I even bought him a new leash to go onto their little attachment thing. And so we were walking. He was doing really good with the walking. And then, and so that was like for 2 days. But he was still doing the peeing and all that stuff. And then they came in and they had a treat. And the only thing was when they were in the treat, because Max is the most food, as much as how weird it is with this guy with the peeing, Max is so out there with the food like I've never seen. Like he had to be at some point where he was being starved or something. It's crazy how he is with food. And he can't get enough. And I'm sure the night he puked, it was because he just eats and eats and eats and eats. He can't stop himself. He doesn't ever feel full. He's like in this panic, like he's got to eat more and more and more. He goes crazy. And he eats as fast as he can, too. And then he runs and tries to steal other people's food. And this little chew stick thing that they have that's supposed to, it's not rawhide. It's like, and it's got real little meat things on it. Like I pay for these expensive ass fucking treats to try and get healthy ones because it's Stella's favorite. And when Max first came, it was hard for him to chew them. And so I got something else, but then he skipped over those and he was like, no, I want these. And so he'll sit and chew them and chew them and chew them. But it's like a race. And Stella practically swallows them whole. And so Max had one and he was eating it. And he just sits there slowly just chewing and chewing with his tiny little teeth. But then I was like, well, maybe he got a piece too big. Then I was like, but how would I even swallow it? So it was like, maybe a piece that was sharp or something. So it was like, at first, when he got up in the middle of the night and puked, so that was going from Friday night to Saturday, and he got up and he puked. And then I thought, well, maybe it is that treat. Maybe he's got a blockage or something. And so, because, I'm not used to having little dogs. Maybe I'm doing everything wrong. I don't fucking know. And then, so then, but he just seemed so sad. He just seemed so sad and so scared and then the way he cried when we were leaving. And so in the morning, I started message Saturday morning, and I'm thinking, well, this would be an emergency visit. What vet is going to want to see? Because a dog puked once. Dogs puke. I mean, they go out and eat shit and puke all the time. It's not like, run into the vet for every little puke. But see, the thing is they didn't never get him checked out. And so then it's kind of falling on me. And then, so they don't know. But so when I had messaged the lady, so Saturday morning I messaged her and didn't get anything. This is the lull I'm talking about. So then, hour later I messaged again, nothing. Hour later, message again. And then whatever it was been like 3 hours. So it was like 11 o'clock. And, no, it wasn't 11 o'clock. It was 9:30. And she said, and I told her what was going on with him. And I said, I don't know what the puking, what it is, if he ate something bad, but he just seems so down and depressed. And he just seems like just so sad. And so she said, well, I have one that's doing the same thing. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll come and bring him there. Maybe that's the whole problem. Maybe once he sees them, it's going to brighten his spirits and he's going to feel fine. Maybe he's just stressed. I mean, and that's another thing too. He got a high-stress dog that puking, like dogs puke too when they're stressed. And so I'm thinking, oh, this would be, the sweetest love story ever. And he goes back and finds his friend. And so then who he's gone through all these troubles with, that gave him safety or whatever, and it still could be, but they're even so scared that they can barely communicate with each other, both of them. It's really sad. My mom has that dog from a hoarder house, and it's too scared to come near anybody. It just sits and barks all the time. It's like, but he's gotten back. Like, he used to just sit underneath something and bark all day long. It's just like, when I'm there, it's just, oh my gosh. It's real little dog, and it's like, that's the most high-pitched sound, Dusty. It's like a tiny little, I don't know, kind of like a Pomeranian or something. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. It's some kind of dog, but it's tiny, tiny. And it was the same thing, because she's in this rescue stuff before it started. I mean, they already have some, like, that's a bunch of her friends and stuff, or rescue people. So anyways, so and it was raining and stuff, and I was just like, well, that's got to be it. That's got to be it. We'll get out there. He'll find his friend. I'll either leave him with his friend, and then they can get him checked out and see if he has issues or whatever. Or, and I'll bring a different dog, or I'll bring him and his friend if all of a sudden he's just like all spunky, like, oh, yay, my friend, there I'll go, I'm okay. And so we get there, and it was a long-ass drive through all this rain and stuff, and I get the dogs. That was an ordeal. Get the dogs out, put them in the yard, and go and get him, put him in there, and then I'm like, and she's still not coming out. She's still not coming out. And so I'm going, and I'm knocking and knocking. Nobody's coming to the door. Nobody's coming to the door. And I'm thinking, well, is this like a business? Is this not where they live? Like, what is going on? I told her I was going to be here. I even sent my ETA. She should have been like walking out into the driveway. And so like for 10 or 15 minutes, I'm out there and I'm knocking on the door. So then I go back out to the car in the rain to get my phone and message. And she's not even there. She left, and she goes, oh, I didn't know you'd get there that fast. Okay. I said, well, I sent my ETA, and she goes, oh, I never got it. And then I was thinking, I don't even know if she read my last message. That's another thing. It's like, I don't like this kind of communication. And so, so she says, oh, okay, well, I'm out at the store. I'll be back in a bit. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I said, does nobody live here? And she said, no, I live here. And because I kept thinking I was hearing someone in the house, but there was so much dogs barking that it was hard to tell. And so I don't know if she messaged her daughter and was trying to stay at the store and finish what she was doing. And so she told her daughter to come and help me. And so her daughter just brings this other little dog out. And then the dog's so scared of Stella, she wants me to go put Stella away. And I'm like, that's why Stella's here, to see if the dog can handle Stella. Like, I can't go put her, like, how would I take the dog home if it's scared of Stella in this yard? What's going to happen in my house? Like, what? And then, hold on a sec. So I start, so she brings the dog out, and the dog's scared to death. And at this point, though, Morty has been walking around, and he's pooped. So then I saw, okay, well, he's pooped, so he doesn't have a blockage, because his stomach's not getting bloated. And then plus, if I pick him up, he has no tenderness, or otherwise he has no ability to give any kind of reaction. And he's having a problem right now too. It's like this is what gets so weird. Because I was thinking, okay, well, it seemed like he was kind of having allergies a bit, but then I was like, well, it's raining, and, you know, that Stella gets like that and stuff like, and like, I keep getting this fucking stomach flu, whatever the fucking hell. So so she was saying something about, well, you could go take him to the walk-in clinic to get checked in. It's like, you know, I mean, I didn't get home till 3 already, and I'm like, drive another hour to a walk-in clinic and sit there, you know, and then who knows when it's going to close. And then, and I said, I don't think he's sick. He seems just like he's just sad. I mean, he just puked once, but he's up and he's walking around, but the whole time we were there, he kept following me and just locking eyes with me. He would not take his eyes off me. Like, he was begging me not to leave him there. And so I was like, and she noticed it too. And so I said, yeah, I can't leave him. I'll take him. And she goes, well, you can't take this one anyways because he hasn't even gotten fixed yet. I'm like, oh, well, if the one, I was coming to see if that was his friend, if it was not even that I could take him. But I guess, I could have let, I don't know, just all these things. This is what I mean. It's just like this one thing after another of these, like, I don't know, strange miscommunications or something. And so then I bring him back. Is Saturday evening. I ate, I think I tried to feed him some stuff. And I don't know if that's when he ate the chicken. It's probably when he ate the chicken. I'm trying to think. Or was that the next day? And Saturday he didn't eat anything. But I thought, okay, well, he's doing okay. He's up. He's walking around. He's pooping and peeing. And so then, whatever, Saturday, I think he just laid down and just went to sleep. And so then he just slept for the rest of the weekend. And I was having to wake him up and stuff. He just kept sleeping. He was like looking like dead at times. So I was going and like, watching him breathe and stuff. But the other dogs were doing the same thing. And I thought, well, I'm just being parent. It's just cold and it's raining. And what else is there to do? It's dark. It's dreary. So of course they're all going to sleep. And that's good for him. That's going to make him get better. It's going to help him heal. And so I was like, just quit worrying. It's fine. And, if he's got some kind of cold or something. And then the dog that he came out to meet that was going up and touched his nose, was coughing and sneezing and all this stuff. And I said, that dog's sick though. And she goes, oh yeah, I know. He's got kettle cough. I was like, oh, great. So now this one's been touching noses, but he was already having he's already having all this, what I was thinking was, like allergies, like, whatever with the toxins out there, he was having a reaction. And so then, so it must have been Sunday, I gave him some chicken. I ground, man, I'm getting so mixed up on the day. Everything is just blending into everything else. So, I mean, I can't just be completely accurate on perfect on the days, but I had given him some chicken and he had eaten some chicken. And so then that, in the middle of the night, he puked that out. And so then I was like, okay, now this seems like an issue because, it was days, 2 days later or something, and he's puked again. And, hold on. Oh, it's pretty empty. And so then, I messaged, I think I was messaging this other lady, and I was saying that I was going to have to take him to the vet, I think, on Monday, because he puked again or something, whatever it was. And so then she told me where to take him, to this one in Linwood. And so it's like an hour and 45 minutes away. And so, but it didn't open till 8 in the morning. And when I think she gave it to me, yeah, she gave it to me on Sunday, the day, because she said to take him there or whatever. And so then I said, are they open on the weekends? But I was taking so long for the answer, I just went and called, and they were closed on the weekends. So then I was like, okay, they're not sending him to an emergency right now, but I'm thinking, I doubt they're going to be wanting to do emergency because that costs so much. So I got to just, take care of him. And then, so when I called, I just thought, okay, I'll call Monday morning. And so then she messaged back and I said, okay, well, I'm going to call, at 8 o'clock and get an appointment. And so, I called at 8 and she, in the messaging back and forth with this lady, she told me that if he has to go to emergency, that's a whole different set of people who have to make that decision. She can't make that decision. And she can only set up appointments, but she would rather you set up your own appointment because you got to, go back and forth on the time and stuff. So she just gives you the number for you to go and call. And so I called and they asked about the symptoms and stuff, and I told them, and they said, well, we want him to go to the emergency. We can't see him for 4 days. Well, they were saying 4 days, but then, okay, because this goes on. So they said that they couldn't see him for 4 days. So I needed to take him to emergency. It seemed like he needed to be seen right away. And so I'm like, okay, I'll let him know. And so I messaged the one lady, and I'm getting no response, no response, no response. So then I go and I look and see who she was saying that I needed to talk to about emergency. And I see the two names, and then I go and look through my call list, and I see I have one of them's name. So I message her, and I say, well, which dog I have, and I give a little synopsis of what's going on, and say that the vet said that he needs to go to the emergency. And she, I don't think she messaged me. I think she called me. And this is where it even got stranger. Is like, as soon as you think you understand some of the stuff with rescue, it just gets more confusing. Because this lady's in Minneapolis and she's in charge. So I don't know if it's like different. I don't know how this all works. But so this lady's in Minneapolis. She has no idea what's going on over here. And she starts telling me that that they don't want him to go to the emergency. It's way too expensive, and they're just a rescue. They can't afford the emergency bills. And she said to try the other vets. And she was going to message the girl who does those appointments and tell her what's going on. I was to give him Zofran and see if that helped him to relieve the nausea. And that she would talk to the other girl who I was talking to before, who gave me the Linwood one, and that she would get this so we could see about if he could get in. She would call around and find it, see if he could get in right away. And so I said, okay, so I'm waiting. I'm hearing nothing. So I start messaging them and getting nothing. And so then the one lady had told me, and that she's deathly ill. She's got the flu, and that she's not here, and that that's not what she deals with. I need to deal with this other lady, and I need to not go to emergency. And so I was like, okay. So I didn't message her again. Well, then when the other girl finally messages me back, she's telling me to message the other lady again. I said, that other lady told me not to message her, that I'm supposed to deal with you. And it's like, what in the closet or fuck? And so she finally gets back to me, and they say, call Linwood again and say that you're going to take the first available. So I call Linwood again, and I say, okay, I'm going to take the first available appointment. That's what they want me to do. And they said, well, that's not until next Thursday, a week, not this coming Thursday, a week Thursday. So a week and a half away. And I said, okay, well, I'll call him back and tell him. So I message him back, don't get anything. And then I'm like these huge lulls going. And so then I get her to message me back, and she said, okay, try this one, and then try this other one, and then try this, let me see, because I think it was two more, and she gave me two more to try. And so I called one of them, and they said, no, we can't see him for a week. And so then I'm like, I sent her the message. I said, that one says they can't see him for a week too. Because I'm thinking that you should know this. Like, you can't just go to these vets, like, just, we don't get special treatment or something. And so then, and like I said, it's like you have the state insurance or something. I don't know if it's because they give discounts to the rescues or what. But I've been seeing a lot of videos where there's a lot of vets pulling out from the rat, like that. The whole thing's falling apart. And so then I call the other one, and then they're like, okay, yeah, we'll see him. And this was and they were closed for when I finally get the number. And then I call, and it's like 1:05 or something, and it's like, we closed from 1 to 2 for lunch. And so then they're messaging me like saying something. I said, well, I gotta wait till 2 and see if I can get an appointment there. And so I call back at 2, and then they were talking to me, and they close at 5. And then I was like, well, I don't think I could get over there, before you close. And then I said, this one's in Bellevue. This is even further. And so then I said, is like so through Seattle traffic. Like, this is, if I went the back roads, it's almost 3 hours. So then, so I said, well, I'll have to come in the morning because I don't think I can get there before it closes. I'm a couple hours away. And then she said, okay, well, we have surgeries in the morning, so we're going to just fit you in. So be here at 9 in the morning. And I said, okay, I'll be there at 9. And so then all of a sudden I'm in this group chat with these ladies. So I message them, say, okay, I've got an appointment. He's going to be seen at 9 in the morning. And so then he was, so what did he do then? So then I was taking a syringe. So I took chicken and cottage cheese and I blended it to a liquid. And I thought, okay, well, he's drinking all this water so he can keep liquid down. So I'll put some chicken and stuff in there because he just was looking so skinny and weak. And so then I started putting that in there. And I was like, okay, this is good. This is good. Well, last night he went out there and he started puking that out. And so he was puking out that all over the place. And so I'm like, okay, so he can't even, something has upset his stomach so much he can't even get any kind of solid thing through there. I mean, it's not even solid, like it's thick, but he drinks so much water. Like, this is so weird. Like, his symptoms are all so strange to me. And so then he had gone out earlier in the evening and he tried to poop and he said it seemed like a little bit of blood. And so I had messaged and I said, you know, well, he's got some blood now in his poop and he's puked up all of that stuff. So then they start saying, and this is like 5 o'clock, and now we're in a rainstorm. So a rainstorm started and it was a total wind, cold, freezing cold, all this just total pouring. And it's 5 o'clock, so it's like a short time till dark because now it's getting dark so much quicker. And so then I think it was like by 7:30 it was dark. And then I said, well, you could go to the VCA. And I'm thinking, I swear to God, there's a VCA in Bellingham. I didn't even go look it up. But then she said, no, a different place. And so, because then she's like, well, we have a deal with this place that's 24 hour. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I could have been doing this days ago. And so then I'm like, well, I can't go. Like, if you would have told me this morning, I would have driven over there. But I'm not now. It's like, it's going to be dark and it's raining. I'm not going to go drive these mountain roads in the dark in the rain. It's like, you know, we're going to have to make it till morning. And so they had sent me the information of the places to call. And this hospital one, this whatever it is. And so, you know, I tried to go to bed. So it was really dark, and it was like 7:30. It was dark, and the dogs were all snoring. So I was like, well, I better hurry up and go to sleep. And so I laid down and went to sleep. And then I started getting woke up. I started being like a lot weird. It's just weird. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it. Things just get weirder and weirder. And then, so he started getting up, which he won't lay down. He won't lay his head down. And I think it's because he's having a hard time breathing because he's so stopped up because his nose is about fucking this long. And so his nasal passage, that's one of the problems that these smush-nosed dogs have, is problems with their nasal. So I think he can't lay down and get comfortable. And he's just sitting here staring at me right now. I feel so horrible. And so then, so he started getting up. So I noticed every time it would wake me up. And so every little thing, it's weird how alert I have been. And so every little sound. And so I'd wake up and he would be going over getting a drink. So I went and took him out. And it's just pouring rain. So he wouldn't even go off the porch. He's just peeing all over my porch. And I put the diaper thing on him because yesterday when he got up, he didn't even wait till the door opened or anything. He just started peeing all over the floor. And he just kind of seems more out of it, like a dementia or something, like the way he just sits and stares at the walls and stuff. Yesterday it was really creepy because he was walking right here and he stopped and just stared down the hall. He just stood there staring and staring and staring. I was like, this is so creepy. And then, and so then he got up. So we're doing that, and so he lays back down, and I keep smelling just this weird smell. I'm like, what the hell is smell? Stella's, because her bed's right here. She has to have her bed right next to the couch because she's got to be the closest to me. And her bed is huge. It's bigger than the couch. So I'm like, I pull it over. And so that's who's laying here snoring. But she, and I swear to God, we need to get these anal glands done. And I'm just so frustrated with the whole system because she had this one vet at her place who could do it, and hers are deep and stuff. And then they make all this big ordeal. And even when I tried to get her into the vet the other day, her regular vet, they started telling me I had to pay for the appointment ahead because I had canceled before. I was so fucking, I was like, I'm just so sick of these corporation clinics. I am so fucking sick of them. I'm getting a bill that keeps coming from the plastic surgeon one. Not from them, but from the corporation. They're trying to charge me $200 for one of the telephone appointments. It's like, that was included in my thing. And even they were telling them, and they're still sending it to me. It's like the corporations are such fucking yahoos, man. They're greedy. So anyways, so I'm thinking, is this smell Stella's, body stink issues, whatever. And I don't know what it was. I got up and I walked, and I don't know if I saw the black spot when I walked, but I stepped fucking right in it. Then I saw it, and it was mush. So I turn on the lights, and it was blood, just full on. You can't even see any poop in it at all. It's just full on blood, like blood clot, like just blood. And I started cleaning up, and it was so fucking much. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. So it's still pouring rain. So I call the emergency clinic thing. And so I'm thinking, and this is like 11:30. And I'm like, okay, so am I going to just get up now and just take him? No, maybe I think it was 1:30. It was 1:30. I'd already been up since 11:30. And so it was 1:30. And then, so I call, and she says, okay, well, let me go talk to the tech. So I tell her what's going on. And then she comes back and she says, well, he's got so many different symptoms. It's hard to say, we'd have to see him. But right now, you need a call before you come, because I'll have to tell you the wait time, because right now we have a couple, we're really backed up really far, and we have a couple of critical ones in the back. And so it's a really long wait right now. So then I'm thinking, well, fuck, man. Okay, he's going to get, he's moving like a sloth, too, so slow. Like, I just know he's uncomfortable as shit. And all these weird symptoms. It's like, did I bring in Ebola or something? Like, what the fuck? Is this something that's going to get my dog sick? Like, what the hell? You just come from, and what wouldn't even surprise me if some of these shelters are putting something in the, supplements or something to make them sick, because there's such a overrun with the dogs right now. It's so out of control. It's so insane. They can't, like, it's crazy. Like, I know I say it a lot, but if you'd have to be in the algorithm to see it. It's insane. And so, so then I'm like, okay, well, that's crazy to go and drive there, when I've got an appointment. Like, they're planning on him being there. They're planning on getting him back as fast as they can. And, and I may have to wait there too, which I probably will. Like, I have to take the other dogs. I can't leave them. Like, this is hours away and hours to get home. And then I don't know how long I have to sit there. So I've got a whole car full I got to bring. And, so then I was out, like, stressing out, like, fuck, what do I do? What do I do? And go drive through the storm. So I'm still doing that's why I'm recording early. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to record early and then leave first thing in the morning as soon as it starts getting light, and just start driving. Because I can't, driving in the dark, in the rain, like, oh my God, on these roads, oh, hell no. And those is where you get in wrecks. And wrecks were, well, a lot of, there's lots of farms and houses on the way, but there's parts where, yeah, there'd be parts, well, somebody would pass you. It's not like parts where nobody drives out there ever. But, like, these state highways are pretty used. Oh, yeah, because that was one of the things when I drove out there Saturday. And so I did the whole highway, and it was driving up, but it was like, if you looked at the maps, like if you went to Seattle, you would be going that way to the ocean from my house. And this is kind of like curving around a little bit, but Seattle's like right here. It's like right there. So it's just like you're going in these back roads. There's like lots of expensive houses and stuff. Like all that stuff is expensive. I think it was like over by Lake Stevens or something I saw. So, but when I was driving and it's pouring rain, and so out on these highway, I don't know, the state highways, I'm not shitting you, how it's like twisty and turny, and like it will be like going 55, then go 35, then go 40, then go 45, then go 25, then go 55. It's like they got signs constantly, and then you got these fucking cops out here. Like, it's the weirdest shit, man. And so it got and not only that, so it's 2 lanes, so it's just, as the kind of roads where there's head-on collisions when it's like that. And like in lots of parts where you're not supposed to pass, and people pass illegally and do the craziest shit. That's one thing. And then there's a lot of parts, there's nothing on the side. It's just nothing. Like it's just a drop down into ditches and stuff. It's not like bike lanes and shit. This is like rural highways. And it's very rural. And whatever the hell. In the rain, like, why wouldn't you cancel this thing? I don't know. It was like hundreds of cyclists, and they're all riding. Some of them are all trying to ride together. So some of them, there was even 4 next to each other, and it was scattered. It was so many. It was just nonstop. Now on my way, they were on the other side. So I was like, okay, it's not too bad. So hopefully this thing will be over by the time I get there and get back. I'm not going to have to deal with this shit. Nope. It was on both sides. And it was like, and they still kept coming and coming and coming. It's like, what in the hell is this? And you couldn't, like, when it's double yellow, you can't cross over there, and they're taking up all this space, and you can't see anything. Like, everybody's gonna be killed. We're all gonna be killed together, or otherwise we have to sit here and drive behind you guys going 20 miles an hour or something, if you can even get there, because it's hills and twists and turns and stuff like that. And I don't know if they're doing it for the challenge, but and then you get behind, like at one point I was stuck behind a truck. It was like 3 of us, 3 cars, and there was more coming behind me. But this truck, he couldn't go and cross over and go around them. It was an ordeal. Oh, he's got... That was him. I was thinking that it was Max walking around, but that was him. Can you hear his breathing? He's so stopped up. He's got so many different things going on. I just don't understand. Like the puking, but then to continue where he can't even keep anything down, because then he puked up water a little while ago, and then go to the bathroom just full on blood, and then it stopped up all in his nose. But then when I pick him up, because I've picked him up a few times, because I feel like he's just weak because he hasn't been eating, and he has a hard time drinking because his nose is stopped up. I feel so bad. Like when a baby, when their nose is stopped up, and they'll get so frustrated because they can't nurse. But all this scatter of all these different symptoms, because it was the drinking, then peeing, and being just like out of it, just seeming like, and sad and depressed. Like, I just don't even know. I feel like, is he taken over by some fungi parasite or something? Like, it's weird. So I don't know. We'll see this morning. because after I do this, I'm going to start downloading it, start getting ready. And then as soon as there's like any kind of light, and get them in the car and start going, because it's going to still be a couple hours through. This is going to be traffic to go down there with the people who are going to work and stuff. So it's really sucky. And all the way to Bellevue, it's just like, ah. And then it's like, I don't even know, like, once you get there, I don't know what's going to be the deal. If they're going to say, like, well, we have to keep him. He's got this issue or that. Or they would say, like, well, he needs to be put, like, I have no idea. This is so emotionally draining, too. It's just like, man, this is rough. And all the lulls. And then I had called, you know, like, I was like, well, can we just get him in a vet out here? And, I just don't understand. If you're going to pay a vet over there, why not just pay a vet out here? I don't, like, if he needs to go to a vet, just, you know, I could get him into a vet. You know, I figured I could get him into one, but I don't know. It could have been all the ones I called. Would have been like, no, you got to wait a week. So I don't know. We're in a crisis, and all of the stuff, all the medical, there's so many crises going on. Everything just keeps blowing up and blowing up. Now another Turkey person, this girl was 20 years old, who went over there to get a bunch of surgeries, and now she's got flesh eating disease. I don't even know. It's turned out real bad for her too. So I don't, it just keeps being all of these different things that just keep blowing up. And now, there's more with Dems coming over, like blues coming over to the red. Oh, he's puking now. So he drank the water, now he's puking. Okay. The dogs get all upset. This is an ordeal. So I think I probably should just go. I can't sit and talk more about other stuff. Like, this is too chaotic. But anyway, so that's what's going on. And so I'll go and do this today and talk to you guys later. So just remember what this is all about. Learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day. Because it's up to you. I got to go work on it. Talk to you later. Bye.